Hello, class. Welcome to the session. Today's lecture will be on inspection. The chapter's name is Inspection and Quality Control. Why inspection is done? The reason is simply as to control quality of a product that reaches to the market, to the end customer, so that the company's reputation stays where it is or it improves. So, inspection of goods are necessary to build upon the quality of the product because inspection gives you an idea that whether there is any fluctuation in the production process or in the products in it. Now, I hope you all have the slides with you. In the very first slide, the definition of inspection is written as inspection is an art of applying tests. Try to understand very carefully. Inspection is an art of applying tests, preferably by the aid of measurement appliances, to observe whether a given item or product is within the specified limit of variability or not. Now, see, you have to allow for variability of a product. If a product is getting produced, no machine on earth can really produce products of same measurements throughout. There will be a certain amount of variability. Now, whether that variability is that is why, as per this Alfred Beatty, he describes inspection as an art of applying tests. There's an art of applying tests. You have to apply tests. What kind of tests will come later in the chapter, but it's an art of applying tests, preferably by aid of measuring appliances. So, with the help of attaching measuring appliances or using measuring appliances to find whether a given item or a product is within the specified limit of variability. If this is my mean range, if this is my quality standard, there is some amount of variability that I can expect, that I can, sorry, okay. If this is my mean level of quality standard, a certain amount of variability upward and certain amount of variability downward has to be expected. That is called control chart. We will study control chart in this chapter itself. So the device that is used to measure the product's specifications finds out whether the products that are getting produced are inside these two control lines or not. So this is the basics of inspection. Okay. In the next slide, we find basic procedure of inspection. In basic procedure, we have inputs, transformation, outputs. That is the basic procedure or basic production line. In operations management, it's the basic model of operations management. Inputs, transformation, outputs. Now, in inputs, we have to find out for acceptance sampling. In outputs, you have to find out for acceptance sampling. The next slide, if you can see, in inputs, we have to find out, we have to get on to acceptance sampling, and outputs also we have to get into acceptance sampling. Now, what is acceptance sampling will be detailed later on. For the time being, try to understand acceptance sampling is a basic procedure of inspection. That is, you sample out a goods, sample out the raw. If the sample is gives you enough evidence that it is suitable, the entire lot of raw material is used or is accepted. If the sample is not found suitable, the entire lot is rejected. This happens with the raw materials, the inputs. At the output stage also, when the product is finished, before going to the markets, it is Again, found out that whether a sample is taken and whether the sample is good enough for the lot to be given to the market or sent to the market, or it is not good enough for it to be sent to the market. If the lot is good, it is accepted. If the lot is not good, it is rejected or recycled. So this is the basic model of inspection. And in between, there is a transformation process. So the process of transformation, in which also you can inspect. Inspection of machineries, inspection of procedures, inspection of human efforts, or what kind of tools, what kind of methods they're using. We have already studied the method study. All these things can be inspected during the transformational process. Okay. Now, objectives of inspection. What are the objectives? The first objective, to segregate produced products from good and bad quality. So, first and foremost objective is, okay, the first and foremost objective is to segregate products into two categories: good quality products and bad quality products. Secondly, to discover the deviations in the quantity and correct it. What is the deviation? And correct the deviation. Just finding out the deviation is not a solution. It will remain as it is if you keep on producing. The deviations will not remove, go away. So you have to correct it. So, to discover the deviations in the quality and correct it. To locate defects in raw materials and flaws in the process. Now, it is not only about the deviations, but the reasons of deviations also needs to be identified. Why the deviation is taking place, that needs to be identified. That can be identified by various methods. Fishbone diagram is also a technique through which different causes, cause effect model is formulated to find out why deviations are taking place. Say, for example, a machine is producing products, but the products are forming deviations too much fluctuation is taking place. Now, just understanding that the product is taking place to the machine is producing too much of fluctuation products is not sufficient. You need to understand why the machine is producing this kind of product. If the machine standard is good, then if the machine standard is not good, then the solution is directly in hand. Replace the machine or rectify the machine, maintain the machine. If the machine standard is good, still why the product is not getting produced as per quality standards? You can find out the reason can be as simple as where the machine was put. The plate on which the machine was put is not very strong. It is vibrating too much because of the machine's pressure. And because of that, the machine is not becoming remaining stable. And the products, the specifications are going up and down very fast, or going out of standards, out of quality standards too much. So why actually the specifications are not met? That also needs to be discovered through inspection and quality control processes. To locate defects in semi-finished and finished goods. Semi-finished goods, if you can locate defect in semi-finished goods, it becomes a very big advantage it gives you, that the finished goods does not become defective. In the process itself, you can check or stop the process and check for betterment, check for quality. That why semi-finished goods are not getting produced as per quality. If semi-finished goods are not getting as per quality and not getting produced as per quality, that means it will not release a quality finished goods. So in order to prevent having a quality finished goods. Semi-finished goods, if are monitored properly, then you can prevent having troubles with the finished goods. So semi-finished as well as finished goods both needs to be taken care of in time of inspection. To detect sources of weakness and trouble that I've already told you, detect the sources where from the weakness and trouble is coming up actually, to build reputation and reduce consumer complaints, to ensure products are not rejected by the consumer. Because products, if getting rejected by the consumer, it is the producer's risk that we will talk about in OC curve. If a bad product goes into the market and is rejected by the consumer, the entire lot becomes rejected by the consumer. So in this case, the manager must be very, very careful that while inspecting, the inspection is done in such a manner that a bad lot by no means goes into the hand of the customer. A bad lot means he has to set up a standard that this much standard or this much defectives can be allowed. Maybe in 10,000 items, one item may be defective. That can be the allowable limit. Now, if it is beyond that, it is not allowable. So, how much is allowable? It should be set by the quality manager, by the production manager, and act accordingly. Okay. Next, basic areas to inspection. What are the basic areas where inspection is necessary? First, incoming materials, as I told you, the raw materials. Then production process. Then finishing, the finished goods, and then after sales. After sales reports are also needs very, very careful attention regarding inspection, because what the customer felt about while consuming the product also needs to be noted properly before new products are brought into, or are thrown out into the market. So it must be an important stage of inspection where most companies miss out, that they feel that inspection is only means only planned inside the production house. It is not outside the production house. It is not so. It is even outside the production house. It goes into the market. It does not limit itself within the premise of the production floor. That is incoming, process, and output. It goes beyond that also. Okay. Now, what are the types of inspection? The first category of inspection is 10% inspection and sample inspection. 10% inspection means you inspect 100%. Full product, the entire product needs to be inspected. That is 10% inspection. All the products. If you are producing 1,000 products per day, all 1,000 products needs to be inspected. Sample inspection is you choose a sample of the products and inspect them. In 10% inspection, accuracy level is very high. Understood. But there are certain problems with 10% inspection. So many products, if you try to go and inspect, the person who is inspecting or the team who is inspecting will become fatigued, will not be able to inspect properly. Towards the later part, inspection will just be done on a routine basis and with not much care. So, wrong products or not so good products may be accepted, or good products may be rejected. So, this can happen due to 10% inspection. And 10% inspection is also not possible for those items where you have got defective sampling and destructive sampling. In destructive sampling, what happens is, if you want to inspect the sample, if you want to find out whether the sample is up to the mark or not, you need to destroy it. Say, for example, a filament. of a bulb. So how much voltage it can resist? How do you inspect? You have to keep on increasing the voltage and find out till what time, till how much voltage the bulb's filament remains. And when you find the filament bursts, that is the point you note that this is the point up till which the bulb can resist. So now, if you burst out all the bulbs, then what will you sell ultimately? So this destructive kind of sampling technique is there. If it is there, then 100% inspection is not possible. Then we go for sampling inspection. Sampling inspection is basically taking up a sample as a representative of the population, inspect it. If it is within the limits, accept the whole population. If it is not within the limits, reject the whole population. But sampling inspection comes in with its sampling error, which is inbuilt in the sampling process. We have done it in statistics. The sampling error is always there. It should be done in a proper method. No bias should be there. Sampling should be random. These things must be taken care of while doing sampling inspection. And always you have to keep in mind that while doing sampling inspection, basic sampling errors will always be there. Next is centralized and decentralized inspection. Centralized inspection is those inspection which is done at a central place. For items which requires very intensive inspection, requires centralized inspection. In centralized inspection, at one particular point, the whole inspection of all materials, of all places of the plant is inspected. That is centralized. If specific technician is required, then centralized inspection is done. But decentralized inspection is of things where every department, every purchase department has got their own inspection procedure, inspection tools and techniques, which can be used for inspection of their own products, and then give the feedback to the ultimately to the quality manager. This is the difference. I hope it is more or less clear. I will give you a basic note on centralized and decentralized inspection. Study that note. I hope it will be clearer to you. Okay. So this is what inspection is. Next, we go into statistical quality control (SQC). There we will have the types of control charts, and after that we will move on to acceptance sampling. So till today we stop here. If you have any questions, you may ask, please. You may please ask in the comment section. I'll be glad to reply. Okay. Thank you.